Gachiakuda reminds me of my girlfriend. Loud, annoying, flat, living off of past glories that her more talented friends were primarily responsible for creating. But she looks really fucking hot. I wonder, when a mangaka is writing a story like this, are they self-aware? What are their intentions with the series? Are they looking to make a statement about modern day life through an exciting battle manga? Perhaps they're taking all of the influences of their past, compartmentalizing it into something nostalgic that'll be easy for the mainstream to digest. Who's to say? But one thing for sure with Gachiakuda is that it is so generic that there is absolutely no soul in this manga. It does everything so by the book. The dialogue is lame, but good enough for the reader to feel connected to whichever character is shouting at that time. The world isn't as interesting as the mangaka wants you to believe because we've seen Wasteland and Abyss type shows before and done a lot better. The motives and backstories are just whatever, but the art is S tier. A collaboration piece between Kei Urana, former assistant on Fire Force and Soul Eater, and rising graffiti artist Ando Hideyoshi. Gachiakuda is a battle shonen about Rudo, an emotionally janked kid who obsessively scours garbage of the elites from his town. He's built up a notoriety that isn't welcomed by his neighbors. After being framed for the murder of his foster father, he's sentenced to the Abyss, a hole in the ground that sends you to Jane and Finch, basically. Upon awakening in this new world, surrounded by garbage and corpses, he encounters strange beasts and even stranger people. He vows to climb back up to his town and kill those who've accused him and casted him away as a simple piece of garbage. Yet another revenge power fantasy. I can't say anything about this plot really stands out, but the way Urana can combine his very polished, very style of artwork with Ando's amazing manga graffiti art leads to an amalgamation that really makes this series stand out. Admittedly, this is a shonen with a bit slower of pace, so the cast hasn't grown at breakneck speed, but the supporting characters so far are actually okay. Engine comes along and helps Rudo in a pinch. Noticing his talent, or something like that, he invites him to join their organization. Along the way, he meets Ryu, Simiyu, and Zanka, all characters who have their own personality, their own unique abilities, and say their expected lines. Rudo has selfish aspirations, however, and he's hellbent on collecting the info that he needs to get himself back up to the top and get his revenge. Gachiakuda wears the Fire Force influence proudly, but it's not fun like Fire Force, and the banter between characters isn't witty like Soul Eater, despite it trying very hard to give you that vibe with the other janitors. There's a shit joke in the earlier chapters where Riddle unknowingly flings shit around during a fight, and like, okay, cool, yeah, that's funny, but then the joke keeps on going even after the scrimmage is done, and the characters are busting out laughing. They think it's hilarious, but like, we the reader are like, okay, we get it, like we already saw the joke, we already saw the revelation of that joke, we don't need to hear the punchline again. And then in the very next chapter they bring up the joke again, so it's like, how many times do you have to keep on hitting a punchline? Why can't you write another joke? And that's the problem with the writing. It seems like it's following a guideline of what you're supposed to do in what sequence for a shonen. And I don't know, it seems like Urana should know better by now. He's been working on best-selling manga for years. The art shifting during battle to a graffiti style is really cool though, and I'm always looking forward to seeing that. But because the world building isn't done well, in my opinion, and the dialogue between characters is so throwaway, you kinda just want them to start shouting and stabbing each other, cause action is the only thing here that really matters. Look, I'll be honest, there's blood in the water, and manga publishers recognize this. The big series are ending. There's nothing currently on the horizon that will slide into their place. The weekly magazines are, again in my opinion, on a clock. They want to milk physical copies for as long as they can, and a series like this may very well be that. I see it as a continuation for Fire Force fans. Anyone who enjoyed that sort of story may like this, but the quality of the manga itself isn't that great. I'm hoping that further chapters can improve the actual writing, because the art is fantastic, and I can tolerate this journey because it means we get to see an amazing blending of two different art styles. However, while this series won't be in danger of getting cancelled, it definitely seems like something that's just going to plateau as soon as it hits its high, and I think that high is coming very soon. I'm going to stick with Gachiakuda. I have a feeling it's going to improve. I just wonder how much it'll improve. If you like Tokyo Revengers, Blue Box, Fire Force, or any show of that ilk, Gachiakuda will be the manga for you. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10.